From the Tribune News Network, this is Newsbreak. I'm Krishna Russell. The Davis cabinet was completed today with several ministers sworn in, officially allowing them to take office at respective ministries. Among those sworn in at a ceremony at Bahamar was Obi Wolshcombe, who will now assume the post of Minister of Social Services and Urban Development. He is also leader of government business in the House of Assembly. Keith Bell will now assume the post of Minister of Labor and Immigration. Vaughn Miller will take over the post of Minister of Environment and Natural Resources. Additionally, JoBeth Colby Davis will serve as Minister of Transport and Housing, while Ginger Moxie is heading the Ministry of Grand Bahama. Mario Boleg will take over the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. Pick up a copy of tomorrow's Tribune for full details on those ministerial appointments. The next 100 days in office for the Davis-led administration will see an aggressive push to fight the COVID-19 virus, beginning with keen interests in the dismal Princess Margaret Hospital, alongside an in-depth look at the country's finances. According to Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis yesterday, the public health care system is a high priority for the government after it was ravaged by 3 waves of COVID-19 and in recent times the Delta variant, which led to increased cases and deaths. While there were only 39 cases reported in the country as of Monday, there have been 20,288 COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic. 512 deaths have been recorded, with 2 new fatalities recorded on September 9th and September 20th. The victims were ages 73 and 70. PMH continues to bear the brunt of stress induced by COVID-19, including at the morgue, where over 320 bodies are being stored. Mr. Davis said there were some glaring issues highlighted during his first tour of PMH as Prime Minister and after discussions with doctors and nurses who've been fighting on the front lines of this pandemic. Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis told Free National Movement Executive Board members yesterday evening that he will not vie for leader at the party's next convention, but wants to lead the FNM into the House of Assembly until a new leader is chosen, according to 3 sources with intimate knowledge of that meeting. Dr. Minnis also reportedly told Executive Board members that he will hold on to his Killarney seat and has no intention of resigning from Parliament. The Tribune understands that yesterday's gathering at the party's headquarters came a day after a majority of the FNM's incoming parliamentary caucus voted for Dr. Minnis to enter Parliament as leader of the official opposition. For at least some of the caucus members, their vote came with the expectation that he will not remain leader of the official opposition indefinitely. Low voter turnout and poor handling of Hurricane Dorian were chief among the reasons why the Free National Movement was rejected at the polls by Abaco residents, who are now calling for the Davis-led administration to live up to its promises where the previous administration had failed. In a crushing defeat of the FNM last week, the Progressive Liberal Party secured an impressive 32 out of 39 seats in the House of Assembly, including both seats on Abaco, which were previously held by FNM candidates. It was also the first time in years that the FNM had not won any seats on the island. The loss of both Abaco constituencies was attributed yesterday to residents' frustration and increasing dissatisfaction with the former government's response to Hurricane Dorian, among other things. Your complete news and information source, this is the Tribune News Network. In international news, one desperate California school district is sending flyers home in students' lunchboxes, telling parents it's now hiring. Elsewhere, principals are filling in as crossing guards, teachers are being offered signing bonuses, and schools are moving back to online learning. Now that schools have welcomed students back to classrooms, they face a new challenge, a shortage of teachers and staff, the likes of which some districts say they have never seen. Public schools have struggled for years with teacher shortages, particularly in math, science, special education, and languages. But the coronavirus pandemic has exacerbated the problem. The stress of teaching in the COVID-19 era has triggered a spike in retirements and resignations. Racism, climate change, and worsening divisions among nations and cultures topped the agenda today as leaders from China to Costa Rica, from Finland to Turkey to the United Nations itself outlined reasons why the world isn't working as it should and what must be done quickly to fix it. Said one country's president, "The future is raising its voice at us." For the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic began early last year, more than 24 world leaders appeared in person at the UN General Assembly on the opening day of their annual high-level meeting Tuesday. In speech after speech, the atmosphere was somber, angry, and dire. The Tribune's AccuWeather update, a service of Bahamas Power and Light Company. Moisture and troughing ahead of a stationary front to our north will continue to produce bouts of unsettled weather over the northwest Bahamas. Meanwhile, light sea swells will impact Atlantic exposures as Tropical Depression Peter slowly drifts east of the southeast Bahamas through tonight. Boaters in the northwest Bahamas should remain vigilant due to the threat of possible waterspout activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents along Atlantic exposed shorelines. Residents are urged to remain hydrated and to limit outdoor activities, as heat indices are expected to soar in the triple digits today. For the northwest Bahamas, it'll be variably cloudy, hot, and humid, with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms today, turning warm tonight. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Winds east-southeast to south-southeast at 10 knots or less. Seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean in sheltered areas, but slightly higher in light easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. For the central and southeast Bahamas, it'll be partly sunny to sunny and hot, with passing showers and isolated thunderstorms today, becoming mostly fair and warm, with a few light passing showers and the slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm tonight. A small craft caution is in effect for Atlantic beaches. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean in sheltered areas, building 4 to 6 feet in moderate easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. We'll have a daytime high temperature of 92 degrees, a heat index of 105, and an overnight low temperature of 77. The sun will set this afternoon at 7:04 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:59. That's Newsbreak. Details of the day's top stories in the Tribune newspaper now on the streets, or stay up to date online at Tribune242.com.